it's Wendy Rae, and welcome to my Idol Review. I'm so glad you tuned in because I do this every week, and it's just worrisome to me that nobody's watching. So thank you very much for being here today. Before we get started, I want to talk about the drama that's kind of been surrounding Idol this week. If you hadn't heard, first of all, there was a big to-do with Ellen and Simon. Basically, Ellen has redone her taping schedule for her show to accommodate American Idol. And so she does her show, and then she rushes over to Idol to film the Hollywood week. And the first day, I guess it was, she did her show and she rushed over there, and then Simon was an hour and a half late. Now, I have no patience for people who are late. I think it is disrespectful. And Ellen had every right to call him a prima donna. He is a prima donna, and that was really disrespectful what he did. So right on, Ellen. Good job. I'm really excited to see kind of the dynamics between the two and what's going to happen this year, because I think it's going to be a really fun season watching those two interact. We also had the ordeal with Michael Lynch. If you haven't heard about this, this is the guy that made it to the top 24. His dad leaked it to the newspaper. Newspaper printed an article about it, and Michael was given the boot. Now, Michael auditioned in Orlando. We didn't get to see him. He was actually at the very, very end. You see him very briefly. He's known as Big Mike. So if you watch it back again, you can see him. If you Google Michael Lynch, you'll see all of the different articles about it. And he actually has his own webpage, so you can visit that too. So sorry, Michael, your daddy should have shut his mouth. And actually a little bit of tidbit information about that. His brother actually made it in a different season, but didn't get very far. So anyway, that's just a little bit of trivia for you. All right, let's talk about Los Angeles. I was a little bit upset because I kind of expected more from Los Angeles. Now, don't get me wrong. The people that got those tickets were awesome. I loved them. I thought everybody that we saw that got a ticket was fabulous. However, I was a little bit disappointed with the crazies. I kind of thought in Los Angeles we'd get far more crazy people. But we didn't. The crazies were just kind of your normal, run-of-the-mill, everyday crazies. Not like Theo, who we got in Orlando, who was hysterical. You know, the first guy with the mirrors on his face. So anyway, I was a little bit disappointed with that. I also was disappointed with the judges, the guest judges, not our regular judges, but the guest judges. I thought Avril Lavigne was kind of a spoiled brat, kind of a baby, and that irritated me. And what the heck was she wearing, those devil ears? I mean, are you kidding me? That was ridiculous. And then you have Katy Perry, who, by the way, looked absolutely stunningly beautiful, I'm just going to say. But then she starts acting like a fool to Kara. Now, I'm just going to say, if I'm a guest judge on something, I'm going to be nice to the judges that are there. I'm not going to treat them with disrespect. And that's exactly what she did. She was extremely disrespectful to Kara, and I didn't like it. But that's just my opinion. However, she did look really hot, and I thought she was a much better judge than Avril Lavigne was. That's just my opinion. All right. Let's talk about that crying montage they did. You'll remember it was all the people who didn't get a golden ticket, and they were all crying and whatnot. They had the Sanjaya girl. At least that looked like her, and they kind of showed a picture of her. So I think it was the Sanjaya girl. Okay, why did they not show her in front of the judges? Okay, fine. Probably wasn't that great, but we all would have liked to have seen her in front of the judges. I think that would have been hysterical. So I was a little bit bummed that we didn't get to see more of her. Let's talk about who got the golden tickets. The first one I want to talk about is Jim Ranger. Now, I liked this guy. He was the worship pastor, and as they were telling his little story, I kind of thought, you know what, he's going to be pretty good. I think he's going to be pretty good. And I loved him. I loved the raspiness in his voice. I thought he was really, really good. I did get a little irritated, however, when Avril Lavigne started in on him about you're not going to have time to be a pop singer and blah, 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 blah. And then Kara kind of jumped on the bandwagon. So I thought that was kind of rude and insensitive. You know what? This contest is about singing, and the boy can sing. So let's just put him through and stop all the rigmarole about you are too busy. Who cares? That's not for you to decide. That's for Jim to decide. And thank goodness he made it through to Hollywood because I really liked him. Good luck, Jim. Next, I want to talk about Mary Powers. Now, she's the one that did the Pat Benatar, and she had the really, really, really cute little girl who loved Simon. Now, I love that Ryan brought her in to see Simon. I was hoping that he would, and he did. So that was awesome. I was really glad that he did that. However, she was awesome. I loved her voice. Kind of reminded me from season 7 of Amanda Overmeyer. Not her personality, just her voice. The raspiness, the rock and roll chick. I think she's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Then we had Chris Golightly. Did you love him? He was the very last one we saw. He's the foster. I think he had 25 foster families. God bless that little boy. He's just a sweetheart. Just a doll. I just absolutely loved him. And then he opened his mouth and he could sing. He could really sing. So he's a good story. He's got the singing ability. I'm just worried about him in Hollywood because he's so timid. So I hope that he does well in Hollywood, because if he does, America is really going to fall in love with him. All right, let's talk about the crazies. Neil Goldstein, he was the one right off the bat. He was the very first person, big IQ, big geek. You know what I'm talking about. He sang a Meatloaf song, but even before he sang the Meatloaf song, I said, he kind of reminds me of Meatloaf. And then sure enough, he sang the Meatloaf song, and so that was kind of funny. The judges were really nice to him, and I'm kind of surprised because he kept arguing with them, so I would have thought they would have been a little bit meaner to him, but they weren't. They actually stayed pretty nice to him. Did I think that he was wretched? No, I didn't think he was horrible. Did I think he was great? Absolutely not, by any stretch of the imagination. The guy was not any good. But he wasn't as horrible as I think they made him out to be. And then what was with the sweating? I mean, that was just gross. I wanted to vomit a little bit. Ugh. Again, just like Meatloaf with the whole sweating thing. So anyway, bye, Neil. Good luck to you. Then we had Damien. Damien was the martial artist. Now, let me explain something to you. He said that he was addicted to martial arts, and this is what he did all the time. My son is 11 years old, and he started martial arts, I think, when he was, I don't know, 5. He quit, but he's got his brown black belt, which is the belt right before the black belt. But he quit because he got into swimming. My 11-year-old son is a way better martial artist, and he's been out of it for a year than this guy was. This guy needs to not sing and not do martial arts because he's not really good at anything. He was really bad. And then the whole Damien thing, I thought him and Avril would get along better because she had the horns and everything going on, but obviously that didn't work out. He sang the Righteous Brothers. He couldn't remember the name of the song, but then he finally did, and it was the song from the Tom Cruise movie. So I was thinking, what are you trying to be like Tom Cruise? Not. And then he messed up, and then he thought that was the only thing that he did wrong, which really made me laugh because I was like, sweetheart, you cannot sing and you are not good, and that one little mess up you did is not the reason that you're not going to Hollywood. So, FYI. Let's talk about A.J. Mendoza. A.J. Mendoza. Okay, you guys are going to like him. He's the one who said, Adam, I sent Adam my music and he liked my music. So, of course, I'm going to be good, right? Wrong. Not good. Again, he was horrible. He picked the absolute wrong song to sing. It was just awful. I thought the judges were a little bit harsh on him, so I kind of felt bad for him. But he was just no good. Just not even good. And then we had Austin Fulmer. You know which one. He said, I'm the only idol. I wrote it down. No idol has been as sexually as him. Huh? Really? What was that? He sang Cheap Trick, but it had this weird British accent. And before Kara even said it, I thought, this guy reminds me of Mick Jagger, which is actually not a good thing because I'm not a Jagger fan. So totally turned me off the whole time. I just thought he was not good and embarrassing, and that was kind of a mess. Then we had Jason Green. He's the guy that sang Touch Myself. You remember. He thought that he was so cool. And actually his confidence was a little bit irritating to me. It was not a little bit, it was a lot irritating to me. I wasn't sure if he was into boys or girls. And then at the end, he gave his phone number to Ryan. So then I may be thinking maybe he's into both. Who knows? He said, I'll be back next year. Please, Jason, don't come back next year. And it has nothing to do with his sexual orientation, because let me tell you something. Last year, I was a major Adam Lambert fan. I still am. He can do no wrong in my eyes. I don't care. I absolutely adore this man. And so that has nothing to do with that. This guy is just weird. Period. End of sentence. Okay, let's talk about the standouts and then we'll be done because we're running out of time. Andrew Garcia, he's the one that had the parents that were in the gang. His dad started crying. My heart just went out to him. I love it when a parent is really proud of their kid, and they were obviously very proud of him. I loved him with a capital L. I mean, this guy was awesome. He had kind of the Danny Goki voice is what I thought. Katie said that he gave her chills, so I thought that was cool, and I think he's going to sail right through Hollywood, and he's going to get in front of America. Now, I will say this. What I need him to do is I need him to get a little bit of a makeover, because if he's going to be in front of America, he's going to need to look a little bit better than he does. But I think that Idol will help him with that, and I think he'll probably do really well. And the last one I want to talk about is Tasha Layton. She was the administrative assistant in the day and administrator at night. She sang Baby, Baby, Baby. Awesome. Really, really liked her. I think she's really, really cute. I think she's got a very pretty voice. I'm really glad she's going to Hollywood. I think she'll get right past Hollywood, and America is going to fall in love with her. That's it for today. Make it a great one. Hugs. Bye-bye.